Welcome to our channel MBS Class with Ashish. In this video, we'll discussing about the prevertebral and the paravertebral regions. The first very basic question that arises when you see this term pre and the paravertebral regions, that is what this word actually means. Before starting, if you are new to our channel and have not subscribed our channel yet, please do subscribe and share the channel. And so let's start with the video. The prevertebral region means the structure or the region in front of the vertebra. Suppose this is a vertebra, okay? The structure present in the front, these two fingers, suppose these are the different structures of the prevertebral region. You can see the structures are present in the front of the vertebra. So this structure constitute the, or this region constitute the prevertebral region. And what is understood by the paravertebral region? See, the word para means along the sides. When I talk about the para-aortic nodes, lymph nodes or para-aortic region, the meaning is also the same, means the region along the sides. So the paravertebral region extends along the sides of the vertebra or the sides of the prevertebral region. Now let us see the extent of both the regions, from where to where it extends, and what are the peculiar characteristics or the different structure present in these regions. Prevertebral region extends from the C1 to the T2 vertebra. So suppose this is the atlas, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, T1 and T2. So the prevertebral region extends from the C1 cervical vertebra, that is the whole the cervical region, until the T2 and the anterior side of it. So it extends from the C1 to the T2 vertebra in the anterior side. What about the paravertebral region? It extends along the either side of the prevertebral region, that is from the C1 to the first rib. So what do you understand by the extend till the first rib? See, the first rib makes its insertion or is attached to the T1 vertebra. So you can see in the other words, the paravertebral region extends from the C1 to the first rib, but in some muscles of the paravertebral region may extend to the second rib as well. That is we have one muscle, very important muscle, scalenus anterior. It is attached to the second rib. Now why I have included the T1 and T2? Because you say the prevertebral and the paravertebral regions of the neck, but the neck is only the cervical region. Because if you see the superior mediastinum or the superior thoracic aperture, so this is what? This is the sternum anteriorly, this is the vertebral column posteriorly, okay? This is the cervical region, and this is the thoracic region, and this is the first rib. So here is the neck. So you can see that when the neck is attached or is continuous with the thoracic region, the aperture is inclined, and the background of that, in the background we can see the two vertebra, that is a T1 and a T2. So what do you understand by the root of the neck? Root of the neck means the area immediately above the thoracic inlet. This is the thoracic inlet, and I have told you in the previous videos that the thoracic inlet is made up of the T1 thoracic vertebra. Anteriorly we have the manubrium sternum, and sides we have the first rib. So this is how this superior thoracic aperture look like when you have the superior view of it. Now let's see about the structures that are present in the prevertebral and the paravertebral region. So first let me have an introduction, or let me introduce yourself to the what all the structures are present. So you can, when you have a dissection of the prevertebral and the paravertebral region, you can see the anterior vertebral muscles, that is called the prevertebral muscles. Next you will see the para or the lateral vertebral muscles. You will see the cervical plexus, the cervical sympathetic ganglion, cervical sympathetic ganglion, and the most important, the major arteries of the upper limb and the neck, that are the major arteries including the subclavian or the vertebral. Now let's see about the muscles of the prevertebral region, that is the anterior vertebral muscles. So prevertebral muscles. So these muscles, that is the very first topic of the prevertebral and the paravertebral region. So these muscles are present anterior to vertebral column, anterior to vertebral column. So you can see the vertebral column over here. So it is present anterior to it. Its exact attachments and what all the muscles that we will see now. The anterior to the vertebral column and are surrounded by the prevertebral fascia, or it's covered by the prevertebral fascia anteriorly. Suppose this is the vertebral column. Okay, this is the vertebral column. Anterior to it is the prevertebral muscles. So these are the prevertebral muscles. So they are covered by the prevertebral fascia. This is the prevertebral fascia, and prevertebral fascia is situated just behind the pharynx. This is the pharynx. Okay, so this is the pharynx. This is the prevertebral fascia. This is the prevertebral muscles, and at last we have the vertebral column. So these are the attachment or the arrangement of different layers of the prevertebral region, that is the root of the neck. So you will see the pharynx. Just behind the pharynx we have the prevertebral fascia, then we have the prevertebral muscles, and last the vertebral column. So this prevertebral muscles forms the posterior boundary of the retropharyngeal space. The space you see here, this is called the retropharyngeal space, the space situated behind the pharynx, and its posterior boundary. It will have an anterior boundary, posterior boundary, and the lateral boundaries. Then posterior boundaries formed by the prevertebral muscles. There will be a separate video on the retropharyngeal spaces and what all the contents and the associated clinicals. So do subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell below so you can have the notification of the latest videos. So the very first point was that it is anterior to the vertebral column and lined by or covered by which fascia? Prevertebral. Pre means in the front, prevertebral fascia. And one more point, I told you that it forms a posterior boundary of the retropharyngeal space. So you should write full in your notes. RP means retropharyngeal. So we have now to discuss about the prevertebral muscles. There will be a separate video on the original insertion and the action of the different muscles, but I will list the muscles that are present in the prevertebral region so you can have a quick look on it and you can easily recall the names. We have rectus capitis anterior. Next muscle is rectus capitis lateralis. The word capitis means the head. So word capitis means head and rectus means straight. So the rectus capitis anterior means straight head of muscles located anteriorly. Rectus capitis lateralis means straight head of muscles located laterally. So we have four muscles in the prevertebral regions: rectus capitis anterior, rectus capitis lateralis, the longus colli, which is very important muscles. You will see in the transfer section the T4, which is very important diagram. So we have longus colli and longus capitis. The word longus capitis means long head. Rectus means straight head lateral, straight head anterior. Longus colli. The longus colli is also called longus cervicis. So whether it is given longus colli or the longus cervicis, the meaning is same and they refer to the same muscle. Now the paravertebral muscles. What all are the para? We have discussed the prevertebral muscles. Now the paravertebral muscles. We have three paravertebral muscles which belongs to a same group scalenus. So they belong to the same group scalenus, and we have different muscles belonging to the scalenus part. The function of the prevertebral muscles I have not told you. It is to flex the neck. So the action is of the prevertebral muscles is to flex the neck. The paravertebral muscles form the bulk along the sides. So these paravertebral muscles form the bulk along the sides of vertebra. And the muscles extend from the C1 till the T2 vertebra. So this forms the bulk along the sides of the vertebra and forms the or does the action. So the action of the paravertebral was to flex the neck, and of the prevertebral was to flex the neck, and the paravertebral muscle action is to along the lateral movement. Suppose this is the neck, so it helps in the lateral movement, side to side. So this is a neck and helps in the side to side movement of the neck. The three muscles of the paravertebral region are very the same, that is scalenus anterior, scalenus or scalene medius, and the scalene posterior. The scalenus anterior is attached to the second rib, while other two are attached to the first rib. Okay, the scalenus anterior is attached to the second rib, means at the level of the T2 vertebra. So when I say it, the paravertebral muscles extend from C1 to T2 vertebra, that the T2 is the scalenus anterior, while the rest are at the level of the T1, that is at the level of the first rib. The scalenus medius is the longest muscle, and the scalenus posterior is the shortest muscle. But the most important muscle, that is surgically most important muscle, and this will come in the higher studies as well, that is the scalenus anterior is most important surgically, because it makes relation to a number of structures that are very important. So under the heading of the prevertebral and the paravertebral region, we'll discussing about certain triangles that are formed. So that are very important, and that you will understand about the different relations of the scalenus anterior. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel. We will be uploading certain exclusive videos for our subscribers only. So please stay tuned. Thanks for watching.